Hello and welcome to CX Today. My name is Charlie, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Tom Mullen, Chief Product Officer at Sabio. Tom, thank you very much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you, Charlie. Good to see you.
And good to see you too. And I'm really excited to speak to you today. And in this session, we're going to be discussing kind of the latest goings on at Sabio. And I think maybe the best place to start is in conversational analytics, because I know that you've made some exciting steps in this space recently. I think maybe the best question to ask you on that is kind of why is conversational analytics?
Yeah, we see, as I'm sure everybody else, a huge trend in the industry at the moment around large language models and more broadly the adoption of generative AI. We think clearly that it has a very direct and applicable use case for the contact center and customer experience in general. And it is largely predicated on understanding conversations. And whether that's using generative AI or whether that's using kind of conversational self-service intent models or speech analytics, actually the key to the whole thing is understanding the conversation. So understanding the construct of the conversation, understanding the language, key words that are used, maybe for a regulatory purpose, and also often the intent so we can actually do something specific with a customer's demand. And we think that the technology has been around in various forms for many years, and we've been deploying it to great success actually for many of our customers for all sorts of different use cases, whether that be for regulatory compliance or whether that be for implementing voice or chatbots. And at the heart of all of that, to give us confidence in what we're doing, we really need to understand what it is that they're saying and how those trends can turn into some insight that allows us to do something positive as a business. So, understanding the conversations and all of the analysis around it is absolutely critical. It gives confidence to the business, it gives insight to how customers are interacting with us. And we think without it, it's very, very difficult to take any of these technologies forward and make a material impact with them.
Mm, absolutely. I think with conversation analytics, as you said, it's for a while there's been the ability to kind of draw out insights, but also to do something actionable with it now. That prospect is very exciting. And maybe let's talk a little bit more about Sabio's current product roadmap and maybe analytics role within that. So maybe the best question to ask you is what else is on the Sabio product roadmap?
Well, we as a business are a service provider, and for the vast majority, we work alongside of our existing clients and prospective clients to help them get the best out of technologies and to help them really develop CX strategies which will help them distinguish themselves in their marketplace. We do have a segment of our business which is IP specific, focusing on building our own products. And those products are really designed to enhance and support the services that we deliver and also to enhance and support clients as they go through, whether it be digital transformation or adoption of new technologies. So everything that we're doing is really looked at through that lens, trying to understand the problems that our clients have when they are going through digital transformation, to see where the gaps in the kind of broader ecosystem or portfolio of products that they use, and to help identify tools that will allow them to manage more effectively the day two activities. And just to give you a kind of a few examples of that, if you're going through a digital transformation program, whether that be migrating your contact center to a cloud or whether that be introducing conversational self-service, there are many, many touch points that we really need to look at to understand whether what we're doing is being successful. And what actually we see is lots of the technologies will provide a very specific kind of end state of this is how it works, these are the tools you get, and you can run your business with that. I think what we see is actually there's a bit of a gap between the end state and where they are today, and understanding whether that process in the middle is really making a difference to their business. So, have they positively or negatively impacted the consumer sentiment? CSAT is a very traditional score that we'd use, and there's lots of voice of the customer tools out there. But we also need to look at the kind of financial aspect, the project planning aspect. We need to understand the well-being of the people impacted internally and externally. We need to understand whether we've actually achieved a different outcome with new technology or whether we're just achieving the same outcome with new technology. And taking all of those data points and pulling them together is a really very difficult thing for customers to do. They often don't have the tools around the ecosystem of technologies that they've chosen to do that effectively. So there's a lot of manual effort, there's a lot of guesswork, and quite frankly, people will use very constrained kind of KPIs to understand whether their project has been successful. So what we're looking to do and what we're planning through our roadmap is to give tools to our customers and to our teams who are doing the implementations to understand the broader impact that these programs are having on the business and all of their stakeholders, and also to give them tools that are valuable for day two activities. So after the platform's been deployed, after we've introduced conversational self-service, what do we actually need to be able to manage those things effectively and efficiently? I think lots of programs and clients, when they go through this kind of digital transformation, is they think about getting to day one. So traditionally it's, we've got a big project that we have to go and do, and this thing gets deployed, and then we're good to go. Actually, most of the pain and the value happens through the data activities. Do they have the tools and the mature processes that allow them to go and use that technology effectively? Do they have a good way of measuring how effective that technology is? Do they have kind of all of the gaps that need to be filled in? Do they have sufficient maturity to make them not be extremely painful and then actually get value from the project that they've done together?
Yeah, I think you've done a really good job there of kind of showing how Sabio can help kind of hold customers' hand through digital transformation, support them in all those kind of nitty gritties, perhaps underplaying it, those big issues that they may face along the way, and you're developing solutions as well to help combat those and enable that support process. So it's kind of interesting now, you've got a plan in place for how to address those issues. What benefits do you think Sabio will help bring to these businesses when they can? Maybe any examples of how much Sabio can deliver through these technologies? Yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
I think one of the, and why this is also very relevant to the initial question around conversational analytics. Clearly, data is hugely important to all of these processes, and being able to see and understand that data is then the next most important thing that we can do. So gathering the data points is step one, taking that data set and trying to correlate various themes or trends within it, doing the analysis, whether that be from conversational analytics, whether that be from speech analytics, whether that be from voice of the customer, voice of the employee, well-being surveys, task management, or so on and so forth. Getting all of that data into a single place to then be able to analyze it is really, really critical for us, because that visibility helps us to understand whether the things that we're doing are actually having an impact. And what we find is that most clients will start with a really solid hypothesis, but they won't necessarily have the tools to be able to measure that effectively. So it either gets forgotten, or they come to the conclusion that they just simply can't measure whether they're delivering on their hypothesis or not. And that makes it very difficult for them to then take any learnings, move forward, and do new things based on those learnings. I think we see a lot of anecdotal learning going on, which is a fantastic way to learn, and that does have an impact. But what we also see is people spending an awful lot of time, focus, and money on doing a transformational project, which gets them to exactly the same place as they are today, just with a new technology stack. And
Yeah.
that clearly has some value because it will remove tech debt and it will provide them a better platform to grow in the future. But what we're really focused on is how we can get you to that baseline as fast as possible so we can spend more time, budget, and focus on doing things that actually make a difference to your business. And the only
Yeah.
way we can do that is by understanding what's going on, right? So measuring all of these things, analyzing them, getting a good correlation between this action and that favorable or negative outcome, learning from that, and then applying it going forwards.
Yeah, I think that's a great methodology for people going through their digital transformation, and as you say, also other processes like a CCAS migration. I think it's a really great thing to think about. I'll say, but I think that's maybe a great place to end today's chat. Tom, it's been great speaking to you. Learned a lot. So yeah, thanks for coming on and talking to us.
Yeah, pleasure. Really good to speak. Thanks, Charlie.
Excellent, and also thanks to everybody for watching. Bye for now.